Okay, I think the rest is going to be red. So let's get our red. Oh, I said we were going to do texture. So let's make a new texture, and let's head back to default. And then let's split the view by clicking and dragging in the upper right hand corner, going down here and changing it from 3D view to UV image editor, and changing the image to FD text, and scrolling over to enable the painting. And now we are exactly where we were before, except we have the timeline, which we don't need, and the outliner before, so we can head over to that texture. And if you click on the little paintbrush, do the ones that you're going to use as a brush in the image painting, which is what we wanted, you'll see this is the texture we just made. So these are all the different, I guess you could call them algorithms for generating textures. This one is noise, and that is exactly what it sounds like. It's just noise, static. I guess those are all kind of audio terms, but it's, just points of different colors, and it's by default black and white. But if you go to ramp, you can change that. And as you can see on the ramp, the default is a checkered pattern fading into white. And it's a checkered pattern because the alpha is all the way down, and that means that it's see-through. Alpha is the transparency. If it's all, or the opacity, I guess. If it's all the way up, then it's not see-through. If it's all the way down, it's completely see-through. In between, it's partially. So all the way up is black to white. But in ours, we don't want that. We want a different color. But I think you just leave it on black to white if you're going to be painting with it. So let's put that down, and let's 0.122, make that even with the green. Actually, no, let's just make this. Let's see what it looks like with just red, pure red, and with the noise texture. So let's add it on something that we can see. Let's add it on the bump. Let's turn this radius down. Oh, okay, so as you can see, it's getting a little crowded in here. Alright, it's like smeared, and that's because each time the brush is adding a new image, it's doing the same image, so it's kind of smeared. But if you click Fix Texture, then it's just going to repeat that image over and over again, but only after you come to that the end of the texture. And this is reminding me of glitter, and it looks strange. I don't like it. Although I guess, when I look at this looks like red grass to me. If you're gonna that might be a good, nice grass texture. But that's just one of the simple ones. My favorite, I think, is the distorted noise. I like the way that looks. And if we try this, oh, there we go. Let's see. That looks kind of nice. So as you can see, you can still see the black. So if we change this to another color, like say white. Oh, so white. Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the way this goes, I forgot about this. The way this goes is the lighter the color, or the closer to white the color is, the more they use your painting color. More Blender uses your painting color. The darker the color, the more it will just use black. So I guess there's no way to use the textures to add two colors at once. Well, there probably is, but I just don't know what it is. But anyways, so I don't really like using textures, so I'm going to delete that. Or at least the Blender textures. They don't really make too much sense for me. Oops. That doesn't look like pure red. That's because it's not. Although, wait. Okay. I'm going to paint gray over this again and kind of start over. I think in the next update of Blender, they are adding a layers tool to this, where you can add new layers. into your UV images, which would be great. That's going to be very useful, because then we could paint over this gray, and then that all the way up. I'm gonna pure red, pure bright red. See how that contrasts with the dark blue. So I like that, and I also kind of like the gray in between. But I think what I'll do instead is I'll put this down to maybe 0.5 and get like a dark red, and then go into edit mode so I can see these lines, and then use that. So wait, here's the top over here. Okay, so after we finish painting on this, then we are going to apply this texture to the model, and I'll go over, I'll just check over, like I said, it was a while since I recorded the last part, so I'm going to check over the material settings and make sure I got everything down that I wanted to, and then we're going to add that new material, the reflective one. Okay, so all this is going to be the darker red. Oh, forgot something. What is this? Oh, this is the loop around. What do I want this? What color do I want this to be? Maybe let's go even darker with a little bit of... No blue. That way it's kind of like getting darker as it goes. So I'm painting every part one color, but of course you could paint it multiple colors, and that's kind of what we're going to do for the last touch we're adding to this texture. So that's nice. Oh, as you can see, oh look, when I switched back to the default view, it added the annoying grid floor and axes again, but now they're gone. So as you can see, when we were painting, I accidentally went over, I think it's right up here, and got red on this, and that is one of the annoying things about packing. When we did that pack islands, after we did the average island scales, is that it packs it in basically as close as it can get, and you really have to then go through on the borders and clean up what you did, since you can't really get that precise in this, which is another benefit to editing this externally. If you have the time and you have a nice piece of software, actually you don't even need a nice one. I use GIMP and it works fine. GIMP's great. Obviously, I think most people would prefer Photoshop, and I do have that as well. But for quick things, I use GIMP, and I think it works perfectly. Still seeing some strange colors. Oh, you know what it is? It's the brush here. It kind of has a gradient, and it got through. Let's see. Other side works. Right here, that's a weird color. So I must have missed something. Oh, right, I did. So I'm going, the things that we said we don't need, I'm going to, mostly so that reminds me to change this, I'm going to put those in white. So there's the flash drive, and now one thing I want to do is I want to turn my strength down to 0.1. Actually, I'm going to do it 0.05, since 0.1 is still kind of strong. And then, now I'm seeing spots I missed though. So I guess better safe than sorry. I'm gonna go over this thing. I'm gonna look over this in object mode in the 3D view, so that it hides the lines. And then I'm gonna make sure I got everything. I'm catching some holes. So I'm just gonna right click to select a color, find a hole, like that one. Paint over it, right click, paint over it, etc. Let's save it. Now, of course, we want to. This image is not saved when we save the Blender file. We need to save image as. But go to image. Oops, I'm sorry. Image. Save image as, and then you can save it wherever you want. I'm just going to make sure mine is in the same folder as the Blender file, and I'm going to make this. Oops, got caps lock on. Tut flash drive texture .png, save as image. And so now when we edit it, we can just go to image, save image, and it will save it, or it should save it. I've run into problems before. Generally, if you run into problems with that, it might be because you have that folder that you're saving them in as a read-only folder. That's the problem I ran into. But anyways, so I don't really like these thick borders, so I'm going to put my strength down to 0.05 and the color to white and the radius up a little bit, and I'm going to go to edit mode, and I'm going to find the top here with the dark red, so right here, and I'm going to lightly just click every now and then along the border here to lighten up. Maybe I'll actually make my color the pure red, and I'll now go over it again with pure red so that it's kind of a transition, as you can see there. Not a very good transition, but then if I go to, we'll start with soften, put the strength up and the radius up, and just go over that, it'll kind of blur it out. If we go to smear, then it'll just completely smudge the colors together. And that was not really something that I liked, it was just something more to show you those tools. So I'm just going to go back to text draw, radius down, select the dark red, and color over it again. Yep. As far as I can tell, brush draw and text draw are all basically the same thing. Clone is a little bit more advanced, I think. I think what it really is it's if you drew something you like, you can yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever used it. I think it's something a little bit more advanced functionality that would probably keep doing that. Probably just be easier to implement by using the tools in an external thing like GIMP. I would recommend it if you don't want to spend any money. I can't really get this all to be the same color. I'll just have to go over it all again. There we go. Image, save image. Gotta do that often. Alright, so now it's time to oh no, last touch. So like I said, there's no text in Blender, but that doesn't mean we can't write anything, and I'm not using my tablet right now, so I'm just gonna have to use a mouse, and it's gonna be hideous, but that's alright. If I... oh, and it's sideways, too. Maybe I'll just add a star. Yay, beautiful. Let me try that again with the radius down all the way and the jitter up 100%. And the jitter... oh, that maybe not. I gotta put the radius up a little bit. The jitter makes it so that it's like... not a smooth thing. Maybe I'll make it a yellow star. Oh, it's beautiful. Yay. So that's the basics of textures. Just wanted to do that to show you that, just to show you how awesome of an artist I am when using a oh, did I click render? I didn't mean to. When using a mouse and everything. I wanted to do save and image, save image.